Just send me to play back, like I'm play back. Play back. Play back. Play back. Like that. Like that.
How's it going, everybody? Ty Sites Shadow Games Report, doing part 4 of Doom Dark Ages. Are we connected right now? I just noticed my connection completely farted out for a second. Not how I like to start my show, but I did notice there was a big disruption all of a sudden. So I am keeping an eye on that. I'm going to try to... Okay, it looks like it's starting to stabilize again. That's good. Okay. Welcome, everybody. Another big show today. Didn't have a show yesterday, so I'm going to try to keep it under an hour to an hour and a half. A lot of times, whenever I skip a day, it usually goes into 2 hours, and I usually am speeding right through a bunch of different news stories. So I'm sorry if it seems like I'm just rushing news stories, but yeah, I'm a little bit different. I actually kind of feel like I want to cover most of the day's news rather than only like 5 stories. There's a few different so-called influencers or so-called journalists. They only cover about 5 stories a day. And yeah, they will talk about it a lot longer than I will. But really, do you need all that clutter? Do you need all that extra junk that's within the story? I mean, a lot of times you're going to forget it anyways. So I feel like I try to make things brief, I try to make things consumable, and then I move on. There's no real point to linger in it and just like, wonder about it forever. There's like way too much news in the world. So anyways, I'm not going to talk too much. We're just going to go ahead and get straight into it. Alright, hackers breach StopIce.net claim to send user data to federal agencies. They say they're not kidding. I'll get to that in a bit. Rand Paul's $5 billion refugee funding cut fails in Senate vote. Tina Peters moved from restrictive housing after prison altercation. A lot of people are wondering where Tina Peters is at and why she's not being um, let out. She seems to have gotten into a fight a few weeks ago. I actually covered it on the channel. But, like I said, a lot of people just don't even keep up with every single story. Like you don't need all the junk and clutter that's within that story. You just need the surface level knowledge of it half the time. I mean, yeah, sometimes it's good to dig deep. Don't get me wrong. Like, I like to dig deep on particular stories. It just kind of depends. I'm kind of picky. Like I said, I try to filter things. So if I don't think something's like important, I might miss it, or it might just not be important. Chicago's Metropolitan Capital Bank closes as first U.S. failure of 2026. Florida mandates English-only driver's license exams starting February 6th. Senate passes government funding deal despite GOP backlash. Trump removes Venezuelan oil sanctions. Testing 1, 2. Doing a mic check real quick. Trump nominates Brett Matsumoto for BLS commissioner. I have no clue what that is. UN says Houthi seizure of telecom gear threatens Yemen aid. Sharper is the latest Georgia Democrat accused of lying to collect pandemic employment. Oh, look at that. All these rotten, corrupt politicians everywhere. But maybe we're starting to see a little bit of movement within the judicial system towards certain players. Don Lemon was finally arrested today. Another reason why I wanted to have a show. I feel like there's a little bit of good news to actually talk about now. I feel like that's why I'm starting to kind of space out my shows sometimes. I'm just kind of like, man, do I just want to talk about a bunch of dirty, corrupt stuff every single day, or do I just want to talk about it every other day? That sounds a little bit better. It's a little bit better for my mental health. I think it's better for your mental health too, if you actually care about these things. Like, there are those people that don't care about, like, actual important things. So, like, they don't give any sympathy towards anything, you know. They don't actually realize that's a disorder, or at least it's labeled a disorder. I don't make the rules though. I didn't write the psychology books. Some people would say that some of those people are more sane than the, more emotional types. But I don't know. It is good to have sympathy for other people, so I can see why not having sympathy might be considered a disorder. But, who am I to tell you anything? Alright, UN says Houthi seizure of telecom gear threatens Yemen aid. I think I said that. I already said that. I need to scroll down. Exotic lizard found buried under 20 inches of snow by Rhode Island man shoveling driveway. Exotic lizard? Obviously, it's alive. People were saying they found like frozen deer and stuff too. I don't know if that stuff was real, but I mean, because there's just all those AI videos now that create such realistic videos. Grok is supposedly the #1 video creation app now. I don't know if that's actually true, but Elon Musk and Doge designer were boasting about it the other day. I think I talked about it maybe. Relatives struggle to find hospitalized ICE detainees. DOJ opens civil rights investigation into Alex Preddy death. Civil rights. Just trying to think what that could be off the top without looking into it more. Justice Department releases 3 million pages from its Jeffrey Epstein files. Wow. And not to mention Megatron came out today. I don't know where his source is from, but he said that instead of attacking Iran, Trump decided to release the 3 million Epstein files today. So we might check on that post again just to kind of make sure that I'm correct with what Megatron is saying. But I think it's highly interesting that we have characters like him because he's actually been very outspoken against Trump. Megatron is one of those weird faceless X profiles, but he tends to be accurate, so I still post him. I'm sorry, guys. I like to give better sources than that usually, but if that's if that's seen as true for whatever reason, if his reporting comes off as true, even though nobody knows who he is, that's one thing I don't like. Um, there's lots of nameless reporters out there now. Now, I try to, I guess, keep some type of anonymity. Can never say that word right. But, you know, Ty is my name. Like, you see my face on here. Like, I'm not trying to hide too much. I still try to keep some things personal just because naturally I'm a human being and I want to keep my personal life to myself. I don't really talk about my personal life on the channel. I'm straight. I'm Christian. I'm more of a moderate libertarian. I used to be more of a anarchist libertarian, which I guess I kind of still am. It's usually whenever my constitutional rights are pushed up against the wall that I become an anarchist. I think that makes sense to some people. It might not make sense to everybody, but I think whenever your rights are pushed up against the wall, I think just about anybody becomes an anarchist where they want to overthrow the government. It's only because our rights were pushed into a corner to begin with that we ever felt to become that way. Otherwise, most Americans would maintain a more moderate stance on most positions. They know that, leaning one way or the other goes against virtue, especially if you're a Christian. Leaning right or left, that can be seen as extremes or even vices to a degree. And, I'm not saying that I don't lean in certain favors at different times, which I obviously do if I call myself a moderate. Um, it's just that you have to balance yourself. You have to see what's better for you during certain time periods. And sometimes you have to lean a different direction. Sometimes you can stay in the center, you know. Honestly, you kind of want to stay in the center to stay center-minded, if that makes sense. It's a balanced mind, it's balanced values, it's all about balance. That's what virtue is about. Anyways, Luigi Maggione will not face death penalty, judge rules. Trump nominates Kevin Warsh for Federal Reserve Chair to succeed Jerome Powell. It's not the guy who I thought it was. I thought it was going to be that, what was his name, Reed or something like that? Reach? I can't remember what his name was, but it was some other guy. But yeah, this guy is related to somebody that's questionable. We'll get to that in a bit. Trump sues IRS and Treasury for $10 billion over leak for tax records. I'm kind of hoping he's going to send that money back to the people rather than pocket it. It would be kind of weird for him to sue the government for taxpayer dollars and, uh, you know, give us anything out of that. But I mean, I don't know. Just kind of have to see. I mean, is Trump just enriching his own family, or is he trying to help out the country? I think that's everybody's question lately. But we do have some good news today, so that's a plus. All right, Rep. Thomas Massie says foreign lobbyists should not have access to American politicians. Ghost students are signing up for student loans and grants, pocketing the money and disappearing. This is from Wall Street Apes. The problem is so out of control. Department of Education Assistant Inspector General for Investigation says many as 1/3 of community college enrollments are ghost students. Wow, that's quite a bit. I'll let him read off his quote.
Ghost students are sophisticated thieves who are stealing money from the federal government. But these loan scammers are also hurting area colleges and could be stealing your identity. Ghost students. They're scammers who are stealing identities, enrolling in schools, signing up for federal loans, and then disappearing as soon as they get the money. U.S. Department of Education Assistant Inspector General for Investigation, Jason Williams, says you can be a victim and not even know it.
These loans are not being repaid. They're being assigned to people. They don't even know they have a debt with the U.S. Department of Education. Or you get some letter from the department or the servicer or the Internal Revenue Service that's you owe the Department of Education money for something you don't even know about.
Williams says community colleges that accept almost all applicants through their open enrollment are most vulnerable. Some colleges say that more than a third of their applicants in recent years have been fake.
We see in some of these fraud schemes where people are enrolled at 2 or 3 different schools at the same time receiving aid at all of them.
Then we panicked.
58-year-old Murat Mayer of suburban D.C. and his teenage son discovered they were victims. They were applying for college financial aid, but someone had beat them to it, stealing their identities and signing both up for classes at community colleges across the country.
We noticed that there were a lot of activity. There are a lot of applications, loan applications.
How would I know if I'm a ghost student, if someone used me and my name to be a ghost student?
Yeah, I mean, there are many ways that people learn that they're a victim of identity theft. Sometimes they might check their credit report and notice an account that they don't recognize. So you can get a free credit report from annualcreditreport.com. If you don't recognize an account, that may be a sign that you are a victim of identity theft.
Whether you're a student or a senior, Jason Adler, the director of the Federal Trade Commission's Midwest region in Chicago, says the best way to protect yourself is to freeze your credit online for free with the 3 credit bureaus. However, if you're a minor, you may have to call the credit bureaus, and if you're 16 or under, call with the parent and ask them to create a credit file.
The way it works for minors is the credit bureau will create a credit file for the first time for that minor and put the freeze in place.
Eva Velasquez from the Identity Theft Resource Center says while freezing credit can help stop loans from being distributed, lenders and colleges also need to improve the verification process.
They want to create access and make it easy for students to enroll. And I understand that, and that is an important piece of it. But you also want a little bit of friction because you want to make sure that person is who they say they are.
But the federal government says scammers often use artificial intelligence to expand their reach and circumvent fraud detection controls.
These bad actors take core identity credentials that can actually belong to someone, like, social security number, a driver's license number, name, date of birth, that type of information. And then they mix it with fake information, like maybe a bank account where they want the funds to be deposited.
The Identity Theft Resource Center and the FTC can help you fight identity theft for free. We have links on our free news app and website. According to the Department of Education's Inspector General, the federal government has lost more than $350 million to ghost student scams, with more than 200 active investigations nationwide.
Jeez. The hell is wrong with these people? Alright, in a massive win, Florida is moving to English-only driver license knowledge and skills exams. English do it nationwide, says Eric Dougherty. Metropolitan Capital Bank and Trust has collapsed, with First Independent Bank assuming control of its operations. So, I guess people expect more bank failures by tomorrow. I don't know if that's going to actually happen, but Polymarket is reporting it with a 99% chance. I don't know if that's actually predicting this one bank right here or not, or if it's talking about more. Just gotta see. We'll see by tomorrow if it's true or not. Tina Peters has just been extracted from solitary confinement after she is brutally beaten. Okay, so maybe she was actually getting attacked, but from the video I saw, she was attacking someone else because some other lady was like harassing her, like pulling on her cart or something. I don't know. Maybe someone is in jail being paid to harass her or something. I'm not sure. I'm just kind of speculating there. I don't know that for a fact. Why else would she react that way whenever that lady that I showed, it was a few weeks ago, she was in some type of like laundry room or maybe a locker room or something, maybe a shower room, and she was pulling on a cart, and some other lady came up and started pulling on her cart, and then she just started attacking the lady that was pulling on the cart, talking about Tina attacked her. But yeah, there has been some strange altercations that might be prolonging her staying there. Just my opinion. I don't know that yet. But I'm probably right. Jake Lang puts this out with Tina Peters. I guess he called her.
We started working on it, and
Great.
because I believe the truth lives on. It's not about a person. It's about a movement, really, of God.
Amen. Amen. Well, we have the differentiating factor. The Bible says don't even sinners, greet each other in the marketplace. And, they have well wishes for each other. But when we're able to turn our hearts even towards our captors, towards the people who have wronged us, and show them the mercy that God has shown us being sinners, forgive us of our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us.
We started working on it, and
Great.
because I believe the truth
Oh my
lives on.
God. I've always had a problem with these sensationalist Christians that, I don't know, give a little too much forgiveness. I feel like there is obviously a line for forgiveness, but there's also the line you don't cross. I think that will make sense to most people. If you have boundaries. If you don't have boundaries, it might not make sense to you. If you have boundaries, it makes perfect sense. Fannie Willis, Brad Raffensperger, and Brian Kemp will not be sleeping well tonight, says Liz Churchill. After multiple attempts through the courts to obtain the 2020 election ballots from the corrupt liars in Georgia, the FBI has taken action to retrieve them. That was one reason I didn't feel good about not having a show yesterday. But I got home late and I was tired and yeah, didn't feel like it.
I don't know if anybody's wanting.
Is that it? Really? I'm gonna listen to a bunch of people farting in the
Congress
background.
cared so much about addressing welfare fraud of the kind we found in Minnesota, why is the Senate today considering a spending package that includes yet another $5 billion in taxpayer-funded welfare for refugees? Can Democrats and big government Republicans be so obtuse as to propose spending more than $5 billion to provide handouts for refugees after federal prosecutors unveiled a scheme largely involving Minnesota's Somali community to defraud as much as $9 billion in taxpayer money? It seems, sadly, the answer to that question is yes. Left to operate in the shadows, there is nothing that will stop the big spenders from spending big. My amendment would return to taxpayers the $5 billion that the big spenders want to continue spending on refugee welfare. The good news is my amendment is germane, which simply means that it requires a mere simple majority to pass. If every Republican votes to support my amendment, we can put an end to welfare for refugees. The bad news is that even the Republican Party has its share of big spenders. But even if the big spenders defeat my amendment to defend the taxpayers, I will at least expose the arrogance of those who will always vote to steal from the people because they think they know how to better spend your money.
I'm going to stop it right there. It's got another, 3.5 minutes on the video. If Congress is serious about welfare fraud like we saw in Minnesota, why push a bill with another $5 billion for refugee welfare? Because they're working together. Like, we have to be real that the conservatives, the neocons of the Congress that get funded by AIPAC and other lobbyists, they're not in the American people's favor. They're working for other people. They've been paid off. They've been blackmailed. We all know this at this point. At least the people that are paying attention know this. Maybe it's shocking for people that are just now waking up, but we know that this is happening for the majority, I would say, at this point. I think a majority of people are beginning to see through all of this. Otherwise, you just don't have a moral compass and you're completely living under a rock. You just don't give a shit. You don't have values. You don't see the importance of maintaining a healthy society. And maybe you should just stay under that rock and go away. I'm kidding. But at the same time, those people really do annoy the crap out of me. Especially whenever they act like they care, when they don't really. Breaking DNI, Tulsi Gabbard just spotted at Fulton County. This is from yesterday in Georgia election site where the FBI raided yesterday, seizing ballots, pulling computers, digging into 2020 fraud claims. AP photo shows her on scene, phone in hand, overseeing the operation with FBI brass.
Tonight, FBI agents are going through materials found today during a search of the Fulton County, Georgia election office. That search is said to be related to the 2020 election. Correspondent David Spunt has details tonight. Good evening, David.
Brett, good evening. FBI agents are still on site at the records warehouse for the Fulton County, Georgia Board of Elections. The matter is sealed before a court, meaning details are limited, but we can report this is related to the 2020 presidential election. Sources tell Fox News that agents retrieved documents, phones, and computers after a judge signed a warrant. President Trump has long made Georgia, and specifically Fulton County, a target of his complaints relating to the 2020 election. Shortly after that election, Trump spoke to Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger and said he needed 11,780 votes to win the state. At the time, Raffensperger said he felt pressure from Trump and denied any widespread election fraud. He continues to deny it to this day. Now, Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis brought state criminal charges against then former President Trump and others in 2023 for conspiracy to overturn the election. But her prosecution, Brett, was eventually derailed completely after it was revealed she had an intimate relationship with the top prosecutor on her team, and it could have tainted the case. Late last year, a judge dismissed the case in its entirety. Now, Brett, last month, the Justice Department sued Fulton County, Georgia, seeking access to 2020 voting records after state officials allegedly failed to respond to a subpoena. Fox News has learned the head of the FBI's Atlanta field office was recently forced out in recent days, but it's unclear, Brett, if this is all related.
A freelance journalist discovered recently that billions of dollars have been stolen from welfare programs in Minnesota. Congress didn't discover this theft, a member of the public did. How did Congress respond? Did Congress open an investigation? Did Congress claw back the money from Minnesota? No. Congress simply decided to give another $5 billion in refugee welfare.
We already covered that story, so I'm not going to play any more of that, but I figured I would at least show it. Elon Musk says congrats. I'm so used to saying Congress lately. Congrats to the Neuralink team for helping many people who have lost use of their body with our telepathy implant that enables computer use with simply by thinking. The next generation Neuralink cybernetic augment with 3 times capability will be ready later this year. Depending regulatory approval, we are also ready to do our first blind sight augment that will enable those who have even complete loss of vision to see in low resolution at first, leading to high resolution over time. Hackers just targeted the Stop ICE website, threatened. I'm not reading right tonight. I was expecting this to have sound and it didn't, so I'm just like, I was actually waiting to like turn off the sound and it didn't have sound. Anyways, hackers just targeted the Stop ICE website and threatened to leak everyone's identity to the feds. Holy shit, it's actually happening, says MAGA Voice. You sent your names, logins, passwords, and locations to a bunch of government agencies. Sherman Austin is a terrible coder, so are RC Concepcion and Matt Barron. StopIce.net. We were not kidding. So I guess they sent him a threat, maybe? I don't know. I mean, anyways. I reposted this 3 times just to make sure it actually got onto my page. There's been quite a few times where X won't allow me to post for some reason. Like, it'll actually pop up on my screen saying, this account is not allowed to do this. And I'm just kind of like, okay. So that's why I'll just like repost it like several times just to make sure it gets through. It works. It gets past it. I don't know why. I mean, if I'm blocked, it should block me. But once I do it the second time, it lets it through. So I'll end up posting it 2 or 3 times. Alright, I said, is white supremacy the problem, or is another kind of supremacy? Brianna Joy Gray says the mainstream media's disinterest in rampant Jewish supremacy in these documents is fascinating. If it were conservative being white supremacist, they'd be all over it. But this, for some reason, is apparently distasteful to acknowledge. Adam says, a woman named Marsha tells Epstein he should only work with genetically tested Jews, claiming it correlates with being smart. She told Epstein, you're 98% Jew. You're very smart. Yeah, I had a friend a few years ago. He claimed to be like half white, half Mexican. But then later he told me that he had a lot of Ashkenazi Jew in him. And I didn't think much of it then, but he was like boasting about how they were like the smartest people in the world. You know, one thing I don't really understand about certain people that think that malevolence is a smart thing to do. I mean, maybe if you were like just, I don't know, absolutely cutthroat and you only thought about your own people, which they kind of seem like they are. I'm just gonna be real. I mean, I just think that you have to have some type of moral framework to sustain a healthy society. And they don't think about other groups, they just kind of want to subvert other groups and take over them. At least from my understanding. I mean, I hate to sound like that. I don't want to sound anti-Semitic or anything. I do support anti-Zionist Jews. I think that anti-Zionist Jews are good people fighting for the right things, usually. I mean, I'm not going to say they're all good, you know, but I will probably say most of them probably are good because they're usually Jews of the Torah, from what I've understood about them. But, you know, I'm not going to say every single person inside of any group is totally good. I don't know. I just think that Christians think differently, and I think it is maybe time to separate values again, and maybe even separate certain groups if they don't want to agree with certain universal values that we've always had here. I don't want to sound like I'm a separatist in any type of way, but at least in that sense, you know, I'm not a racial separatist. It's just more or less, it's like if you just have like a large group of people that don't want to follow certain rules, what do you have to do? You have to limit certain capabilities if they don't want to follow those rules. I mean, I think we can still be individualistic about it. You know, if people work at a job and they don't want to follow those rules, you only fire that one person that doesn't follow those rules. That's always been the best system. You see what I'm saying? You don't just like fire entire groups of people just because, you know, a few of them don't want to follow that rule and they happen to have the same characteristics. Or, yeah. Anyways, not to linger too much. I don't know. It's just been a big subject lately. I think a lot of people are trying to figure out what do you do about, you know, certain groups of people, and I'm just kind of like, let's be selective. Let's be more individualistic. You know, anti-Zionist Jews are fighting to, you know, maybe have Jewish homes in different places throughout the world, and still be peaceful, not try to take over everything, you know, just kind of be able to cooperate and be a part of that society without harming anything. You know, it's not like people were really thinking anything badly about Jews before October 7th. Let's be honest. Most of the world did not talk about Israel before that time period. And now I feel like we're just kind of forced to talk about them every single day. I mean, is that not true? I feel like that's pretty on point. You tell me, guys. Am I off? Some people will disagree with me no matter what I say, so I don't listen to them, though. In 2017 email, an individual named Masha Drokova told Epstein that he should only work with DNA-tested Jewish individuals, claiming that greater Jewish ancestry correlates with higher intelligence. All right, same thing. Sometimes I'll post from 2 different sources just to see if we have people saying the same thing. They usually do. All right, Mario Nafal says breaking Clinton's to be held in criminal contempt of Congress. Rep Comer says we're going to hold both Clintons in criminal contempt of Congress. That's him.
We're going to hold both Clintons in criminal contempt of Congress.
I'm going to note for the record that former Secretary Clinton is not present.
Today, the House Committee on Oversight and Government Reform meets to advance 2 resolutions recommending that the House of Representatives find former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton in contempt of Congress for refusing to comply with duly issued subpoenas. The question is now on favorably reporting the William J. Clinton contempt report as amended.
Mr. Chairman, on this vote, the ayes are 34, the nays are 8, with 2 voting present.
The ayes have it. Pursuant to this vote, the committee hereby favorably reports and adopts this report recommending that the House of Representatives find William J. Clinton in contempt of Congress for refusal to comply with the subpoena duly issued by this committee. The question is now on favorably reporting the Hillary R. Clinton contempt report as amended.
Mr. Chairman, on this vote, the ayes are 28, the nays are 15, with 1 voting present.
The ayes have it. Pursuant to this vote, the committee hereby favorably reports and adopts this report recommending that the House of Representatives find Hillary R. Clinton in contempt of Congress for refusal to comply with a subpoena duly issued by this committee. We will move the report to the full House. Today, the Clintons must be held accountable for their actions, and Democrats must support these measures or they will be exposed as hypocrites.
But if Comer tries to bring this resolution, he wants to lock Hillary Clinton up, consistent with what Donald Trump's been saying now for 10 years, lock her up, then we'll deal with it appropriately.
What is happening right now in Minneapolis isn't just a protest. It is a military-grade regime change operation right here in the United States. It starts with Dr. Maria Stephan, the CIA regime change veteran who probably trained every single rioter on the Minneapolis streets. Here she is on the Colbert Show talking about the frog costumes everyone saw in Portland and now in Minnesota.
I love some of the things that I've seen this past year, like all the frog costumes in Portland.
So the frog costumes, like, it has lit people on fire. Young people are inspired. It's a way for people to show up, to get involved. And
also, people don't look like a threat when they're an inflatable frog costume.
Yeah.
It really drives home the whole thing, like, they've got guns, I've got a little fan on my butt.
Exactly. Yeah.
While the media claims these are organic revolts against President Trump, the evidence in this video will prove otherwise. We are witnessing a textbook color revolution directed by the exact same regime change veterans the CIA used overseas, like Dr. Maria Stephan. And in this video, I'm going to show you the names, the files, and exactly who is pulling the strings. Winning this battle requires seeing the full map. We need to look past the foot soldiers on the street and identify the captains and lieutenants, the people trained in regime change operations under Barack Obama and Joe Biden. And we need to open the files of the National Endowment for Democracy, USAID, and the U.S. Institute for Peace if we're going to solve this. I'm Barbara Boyd. I've followed the NED and its offshoots ever since Ronald Reagan first called for a, quote, global infrastructure of democracy in his 1982 speech to the British Parliament. a speech that laid the groundwork for the very apparatus now turned inward against us. Today, I'll break down Mike Benz's new report on how these tactics are driving the chaos in Minneapolis as part of a seditious conspiracy to overthrow President Trump. Then I'm going to expose the NAD's role in color revolutions. Then finally, I'm going to tell you how we defeat it. But before we dig in, please like and share this video. It's the only way to break through the algorithm. In her Monday update,
Stop it right there. That's from Promethean Action and what was her name? Something Boyd? Mrs. Boyd? Mrs. Boyd? I have no clue if she's married or not. I don't know. Liz Churchill says in this up here, the CIA is orchestrating the riots across America, which they brag about on late night talk shows. It's a military-grade operation that starts with Dr. Maria Stephan, the CIA regime change veteran who trains the rioters. Here she is on the Colbert Show. And then it leads into Promethean Action, I guess. Anyways. The Kobesi letter says today is one of those days that would be referenced for 50-plus years, a near $1 trillion swing in precious metals market cap over 24 hours. I think these numbers have already changed quite a bit, and this is already 8 hours ago. So don't see this as a direct current reference. This is from 8 hours ago. It's changing so fast that's not accurate now. Just be aware. All right, Epstein files include an FBI document alleging that Trump has been compromised by Israel and claiming that Kushner is the real brains. Oh boy. From the way it looks lately, it kind of feels that way, honestly. Not gonna sugarcoat it. But hopefully I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. Hopefully the Democrats did sneak in some fake files into the whole thing, and that's what we're seeing here, but I don't know. Trump did say they're a hoax. He did say that, you know, some could be fake. I wouldn't be surprised if, like, some of these were made by AI. I have no clue, though. I mean, they could be real, though. You know, I'm not going to act like... I mean, if they're real, they're real. I'm not going to avoid evidence if they're real. But we need to have some type of verification system to find out if they're real. You know. That's going to be pretty hard to do, considering we've been typing on digital formats for quite a while now. Now, when it comes to, like, typewriting stuff, that's a little bit different. Maybe there's, like, a better way to tell if something's real through some type of computer scanner of sorts. You know, some type of file scanner. But yeah, I mean, either way, I don't know if y'all want to actually see this on the screen. I can barely read it. I don't even know. Yeah, it looks kind of blurry. I don't even know if, like, zooming in is going to help that much. Can y'all read that? You can kind of read it. I wish they got a better resolution file there, Mr. General. The United Nations is at risk of an imminent financial collapse. Brink's news is mostly accurate, but make sure to verify this particular post. Let me make sure, actually. I'll just ask Grok. Alright, Drogo says they have the ballots. People will be going to prison. Surprise, 2020 was a stinger operation. Now, just remember, Drogo is an avid Q supporter. He believes that Q is real. So, if that affects your belief system, then you don't have to believe him if you don't want to.
Random truck boxes, but Jason, explain to us what is currently happening.
Let me just put this in a bigger. There we go.
Random truck
That's
boxes,
better.
But Jason, explain to us what is currently happening 10 feet away from us.
Yeah, David, this is a beautiful day. We've been trying to get these ballots, everything from 2020, pretty much since 2020. We've been told time and again everything was fine. Don't worry about it. Why are you investigating 2020? This happened so many years ago. You know what? If there was nothing to hide, they would have showed us years ago. Now we're going to find out. These trucks are on their way to Virginia. They're going to be out of state very soon, and it is time to get to the bottom of 2020.
So basically, it's about 700 ballot boxes from the 2020 election because, again, this is the Fulton County Election Office. Today, FBI executed a search warrant where they seized essentially those 700 boxes.
Everything.
And now they've officially left. This is the train, as we'll say, that's on the way, hopefully, out of Georgia.
In safe keepings.
Exactly. We don't want a judge to suddenly, and real quickly, we'll get to the judge in a second. These are actual people that you know that you've been fighting together with since 2020.
Yes.
Trying to make this a possibility. You've been here till the minute that they left, and it seems like they're probably going to follow them to make sure that everything will be fine and secure.
We've got to make sure the ballots get there and there are no hiccups.
Yeah.
But this is a beautiful day. I mean,
Absolutely.
we need to get to the bottom of this. Whoever won, we just want the answers.
Michael Ron Bowling says Chinese national convicted of stealing AI tech from Google. The Chinese government encourages this type of theft. It's not only damages the U.S. economy, but it also assists China's military mass surveillance systems. And then the next few stories are about the same thing. So if you guys want to go read this, you can. It's all about that story. This is even the FBI having their particular statement on it. All right, we got Senator Mike Lee just leveled up the SAVE Act, adding hardcore voter ID requirements after Leader Thune pledged a floor vote today. This beast will block illegals from registering to vote, require photo ID at the ballot box. Let's let him speak here.
Brief update on the SAVE Act. This has been a huge day, great development. We've added more co-sponsors, and we've now got Senator Thune, the Senate Majority Leader, indicating that we'll be bringing it up for a vote. So Chip Roy and I, who introduced the SAVE Act for the first time 2 years ago, are retrofitting the SAVE Act to add in the voter ID requirement, something that we had originally included in what we were going to propose. We're adding it back in. We're going to file that and get this thing ready for a vote. Stay tuned and keep the volume up because we need all the support we can get. Brief update on...
All right, this is what I was talking about at the very beginning of the episode today. Megatron says he refused to attack Iran. That is why these files were released today. Let's see if there's any truth to this. Let's see if Grok has any. The Post claims the DOJ's January 30th, 2026 release of over 30 million Epstein files, mandated by a 2025 Transparency Act signed by Trump, is retaliation for his refusal to launch a U.S. strike on Iran, despite Israeli pressure for action amid nuclear tensions. Recent reports confirmed Trump's shift from threats of a far worse attack to diplomatic overtures, as he convinced himself against military escalation to avoid regional war. Per Reuters and The Guardian coverage. Okay, so we do have some higher profile media, even though they are, at least in recent years, have been more inaccurate. I mean, for some reason I trust this reporting, but I mean, you know, they have lied in the past. You can't put anything past them. Plus, I believe these are also two British outlets, if I'm not mistaken, unless they've been bought out by somebody else. I think Reuters might have been bought out by somebody else, but I'm not too sure. I'll have to check into that, actually. Plaz and the thread mixed speculation on Zionist leverage via Epstein's network, with satirical calls to nuke Tel Aviv, reflecting broader online discourse tying the files to U.S. foreign policy influence. Of course they are. There wouldn't be so much, like, resistance. Okay. I just can't believe that there's, like, millions of these files. That's just insane. Just tells you probably how extensive it probably is, truly. A Florida couple has filed a lawsuit against the fertility clinic after a DNA test revealed the baby girl they welcomed in December isn't theirs. That's sad. It's also kind of weird. But it is a embryo implant, so it's not that weird. They can probably get those mixed up, but that's really fucked up if you do that to somebody.
Well, we
I wonder how
spoke
they
to the
figured it out.
attorney, and she tells us that this couple,
They're like,
they're
what's wrong with this kid? He acts nothing like me. He's like an infant.
absolutely blessed to have this young daughter, but shocked while navigating this wild situation. So Stephen Mills and Tiffany Score are suing.
No way. That's hilarious. Oh my God. No way. Hold up, hold up, hold up. So wait. Were they trying to, like, inseminate her, but they ended up giving her a black baby? That's super fucked up. No, no, no. That's fucked up. Test revealed the baby girl they welcomed in December isn't theirs. That's so fucked up, dude. I'm just, like, trying to, like, figure out, like... So, like, yeah, she had somebody else's semen put into her embryo. That's messed up. Wow. Anyways. Alright, Senator Tuberville dropped a Moab. We have over a dozen members of Congress now that were elected illegally. All these voting machines are from Venezuela, and they're all crooked. Democrats stole $2 trillion from the CARES Act to pay off their debts because they had stolen so much money they could not function. We're talking 30 to 40 billion for California.
It'd be nice to see
30 to 40 billion for New York, same thing for Chicago, etc. It is a disaster.
Congress do something about it. What do you recommend gets done? I mean, I think that the SAVE Act is a good starting point. Where do you stand on that, Senator? Do we have any hope of getting that passed?
No, we can't get that passed because you even have some Republicans that won't vote for it. We have to get this done. We will not win any more elections in terms of majorities if we don't pass the SAVE Act, because they bring in all these illegals and they're going to try to get as many of them to vote as they can. Then they have all these voting machines that are all crooked, out of Venezuela, by the way. They have a system that they can win elections. We probably have a dozen or so people up here in the House and the Senate that were elected illegally. They shouldn't be here because things were crooked in the elections. Just look at Nevada and Arizona and all these places that it's been proven, but nobody does anything about it. But I'll go back to the money that is being stolen. If you go back to the first 6 months I was here back in 2000, the Democrats had the majority, House, Senate, and the White House, and they did this first, CARES Act. We need money for COVID. $2 trillion. Well, what'd they do with that money? They sent it to all the blue states to pay off their debts because they had stolen so much money they could not function. And we're talking about 30, 40 billion for California, 30, 40 billion for New York. Same thing for Chicago, the cities. I mean, it is a disaster, folks. You are being stolen blind. Open your eyes. Don't listen to these people that want to bring this country to a communist country, because that's where we're headed. If we don't get to the bottom of this this nonsense of being able to steal something and nothing happened to them.
Okay. President Trump says his new Fed chair, Kevin Warsh, will cut rates without any pressure. Guess we'll have to see if that's true or not. Nick Sorter says here are all 12 pages of the indictment against Don Lemon and his co-conspirators. Pretty damning stuff here. He's got a link there if anybody wants that. Trump's DHS buy industrial warehouses in at least 8 states to establish large-scale mass detention network. Pretty large facilities there, it seems like. Epstein files show Bill Gates asking Epstein for antibiotics for his wife, Melinda, because he contracted an STD from Russian girls. In the Epstein files, Megatron says Russia and China will join the Iran in naval. Sorry, guys, I'm tired. Russia and China will join Iran in naval exercises in the Sea of Oman and Indian Ocean over the coming days. Al Jazeera. Russia and China are sending a message to the U.S. and Israel, says Megatron. U.S. unusual whales. The Trump administration has held covert meetings with separatists in Alberta, Canada, per FT. What's FT? Trying to think. I don't know. The KBC letter says this is absolutely insane. Gold just posted its largest daily swing in market cap history at 5.5 trillion between 9:30 a.m. ET and 10:25 a.m. ET. Gold lost 3.2 trillion in market cap, or 58 billion per minute. Crazy. The Department of Justice has now deleted the so-called calendar files from the Epstein records, which accused Donald Trump of auctioning children to Jeffrey Epstein from the General. And, okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, we have F-47s. Yeah, because I didn't think this is true, and apparently I'm right. Apparently F-47s. No, not real footage. No F-47 test flights have occurred. First flight is planned no earlier than 2028 per USAF statements. So this is fake. Okay. All right. Well, that just goes to show you that I do have a keen eye for accuracy. I'm just like, we already have F-47s. Time is flying. Yeah, I knew that there was something wrong with that. I'm gonna go ahead and delete that. Sidney Powell at the DOJ today from Drogo. It really is happening. We have arrived. Ed Martin says, good morning, America. How are you? I said strange both sides telling the other not to overreact, because you had the United States telling Iran not to overreact. You had Russia telling us not to overreact. Russia indirectly confirms Iran strikes. Russia just put out a statement basically admitting something big went down. I think this is from last night. I don't know if this actually happened or not, so take this with a grain of salt. We hope that the United States and Israel will preserve the security of the Bolshoi nuclear power plant. They don't want it to, leak radioactive material, so naturally they don't want a Chernobyl event. Yeah, see, they mentioned it right here. If it got damaged or threatened, we'd be looking at Chernobyl level fallout risk. Russia knows. They know all about nuclear fallout. Grok, did Michael Jackson say this? Y'all can read that. I'm not going to read it out loud. Just because the AI might mask me for it. New Epstein files show that Elon Musk was in communication through email with Jeffrey Epstein in 2013. This is from Shadow of Ezra. After Epstein was a convicted pedophile. Interesting. Elon Musk says, is there a good time to visit? Jeffrey Epstein says, I will send a heli for you. Musk stated in the exchange that he would be in the British Virgin Islands over the holidays. The British Virgin Islands are about 15 miles from Jeffrey Epstein's pedophile island, Little St. James Island. Musk has previously claimed that he and Epstein have never interacted. And just for legal reasons, I have no clue if this is real or not. I mean, supposedly this came from the Epstein files. Y'all go see if this is true or not, because I have not verified this yet. I've been working all day, so, you know, I can't have my eyeballs and everything 24/7, guys. Like, my eyeballs gotta breathe. Alright. Holy smokes, President Trump and his sons are suing the IRS and Treasury for $10 billion over the leaking of his tax records. Gates wanted Epstein to delete evidence of his STD. Emails Epstein sent himself in 2013 claiming Bill Gates caught an STD from Russian girls and begged him for antibiotics to secretly give Melinda Gates. Wow. Oops. President Trump to announce new Fed chair in next week. He's already announced it. I don't know why the reporting yesterday was so off, but I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that post since the new Fed chair went from next week to last night. It was going to be today, but then it changed to last night. He flip-flopped so quickly. Democrats say deal reached with Trump's to avert shutdown. Immigration talks to continue. Zionists are running the most obvious divide and conquer strategy ever against the right, and all the low IQ anti-Semites are falling for it.
The other very delicate thing we have going on is all this stuff with Israel. Now, Thaler is Jewish, Breger is Jewish. Like, when I say Jewish, I mean, like, not, they're very Jewish, meaning Bev Goldstein, like, there's so many names I can throw out that I do believe when we look at Turning Point and we look at all of this, I do see Mossad, I see there again, there's so many other things where I'm connecting dots. I think Alex Jones is controlled by them. Charlie Kirk's controlled by them. Steve Bannon. I can't believe nobody's killed me. I really can't. I have no idea why.
Because God is protecting right now. There's a lot of people that are surprised are not dead right now, but nobody gets to do anything unless God gives it permission.
And I'm with you, Liz. I mean, I've already had people show up to my door from what I've exposed, but I'm still alive. We're meant to be alive. So,
convictions. He escaped authorities here 2 days ago, ran into the embassy for Ecuador, and, quote, the consulate employees protected this public safety threat, and he is still at large. So DHS seeking that suspected criminal illegal alien. Back to you, Sandy.
Got it. Matt Finn out of Minneapolis for us. Matt, thank you. John?
All right, let's bring in Chad Wolf with the
Son-in-law of a Zionist billionaire who got Jeffrey Epstein a fake Austrian passport, who is literally part of the Bilderberg Group, is going to be Fed chair, and you're selling your medals. The Kabisi letter says recent layoff announcements. Y'all can read that if you want to. It's way too much for me to read. I don't really care to. It's a lot. Lots of employees being laid off. Anti-ICE activists hold their hands up in the air as Border Patrol agents demand They stopped following them in North Minneapolis.
I do not. No, that is not true. Yeah, don't be impeding our operations.
Perfectly legal for us. We're following it as
No, you're not following it
I've
as
lived
fake
here all my
distance.
life.
You're
I know how
pretty
to
much
drive in the
tailgating.
snow. That is not true.
Do not impede.
I am not
You can
impeding.
peacefully protest all you
That is
want.
what we are doing.
Do
We
what
are
you want.
observing your actions,
So
sir.
you don't need to be freaking impeding us.
We are not impeding. We are observing your actions.
No, you're not observing.
That way we can tell if they are legal and you will be held up for your actions, sir.
Everything we do by the Constitution.
They don't need to be following around. That's what's kind of weird about it. I mean, really, I don't know why it's not considered to be stalking after a while. But anyways, Optimus will make aging a home, or at home, possible. That's such a weird way to word it, Mario. Mario, are you bought? Who pays you? Seriously? I don't know. Mario's always kind of been that strange character on X where I'm just kind of like, where did you come from? You're just like very popular for unknown reasons. Alright, daily care, quiet support, zero drama, comfort stays steady, dignity stays protected, independence stops feeling fragile. Cringe. Cringe, I don't like it. Get on my nerves. President Trump selected Kevin Warsh as his new Fed chair.
Any candidate running for a seat in this building, whether for Congress or Senate, whose platform includes anti-Semitism, we will target them as they target us. Accordingly, we will start a fund.
Let me blanket this a little bit better. Trump selects Kevin Warsh as his new Fed chair. I have mixed feelings. He is married to Jane Lowder, daughter of Ron Lauder, the president of the World Jewish Congress. Can't make this stuff up. Just recently, John Lauder sent a warning to every potential American First candidate wishing to run for U.S. Congress. If you do not support Israel, if you platform or say anything we deem anti-Semitic, we will target you and start a fund to support your opponent. He also said Israel must recapture social media and re-educate American children. He also said Nazism is rising again in the United States, and Tucker Carlson is leading the effort, just like Father Colligan did during Nazi Germany.
Any candidate running for a seat in this building, whether for Congress or Senate, whose platform includes anti-Semitism, we will target them as they target us. Accordingly, we will start a fund to help their opponents.
All right, and I'll also say this. The general says Benjamin Netanyahu is set to visit Washington in February, marking his 7th White House visits during President Trump's second term.
We cannot passively sit by and let anti-Zionists determine our future. None of this will be easy. It will take time and effort from all of us. And Jews cannot fight this fight alone. Frankly, we shouldn't have to, because this is not a Jewish issue. It's a democratic issue. It's a moral issue. It's a human issue. Let us build a coalition so strong, so united, so determined that no extremist movement can fracture it. And above all, let us be bridge builders, unshakable. Any candidate.
Trump is officially going after Cuba. Trump just signed an executive order declaring a national emergency and launching a process to impose tariffs on countries supplying oil to Cuba. Newly taken satellite imagery from an Iranian satellite recently put in orbit shows widespread damage to Israel's Nevatim air base during the 12-day war. Iran completely destroyed them. Damn. Sorry, I was like just staring at that image for a second. I was like, okay. Yeah, because I guess this is the actual structure and this is the crater. President Trump just announced he'll be naming the new Fed chair. Yeah. He already named him. Trump signs executive order declaring national emergency over Cuba. We just said that. The new social media app Upscrolled is already rolling out censorship rules, labeling content as disinformation, bullying, harassment, or hate speech through the creation of a trust and safety board. Interesting, right? Right after everybody gets on there. A Jew says the Chinese are using porn as a weapon. Meanwhile, Jews are the ones that actually own, produce, and legalize porn everywhere, says Uncommon Sense. This is that account, not me. Hail as old as time. Autism Capital. Actually, I'll just go down here from Nikita Beer. I believe this is a Jewish person. Chinese government floods X search results with porn whenever there is political unrest to prevent their citizens from finding out real-time information. This has been a difficult problem to solve, but we are aware and working on it. I didn't know this guy was Jewish, but apparently this guy says he is. And, you know, I'm completely fine with peace-loving Jews, mostly that are anti-Zionists, because that makes sure that they're not crazy about that land for no particular reason. I just believe that if you've been exiled or banned from a certain area so many different times or many different places throughout history, that you're not entitled to any type of particular land. You know, it's all about if you can legally keep it and if, you know, you're playing by the same rules. And that's just kind of the weird thing. You know, Jews will often allow things like usury and Christians will disallow it. And that's happened several times throughout history. But it often will take advantage of different groups of people and push Jews into power because naturally they will get interest money out of that. And they don't really have to do anything for it. Israeli Rabbi Michali Finkel claims that the Russian Revolution happened because the Tsar was an anti-Semite.
Николаю II было сказано, если ты не отменишь черту оседлости, если ты не прекратишь дискриминацию евреев, если ты не снимешь квоты против того, чтобы еврейские мальчики и девочки не могли больше идти учиться в гимназии, в институт, если ты не отменишь эти квоты, если ты не отменишь любую национальную и религиозную дискриминацию, которая есть у тебя в стране, если ты не запретишь законом такие организации, как «Черная сотня» и «Союз русского народа», то есть погромные реакционные организации, которые создали и воплотили погромное движение, и которые стояли за многими погромами конца 19-го, начала 20-х веков в России. Если ты все это не сделаешь, если ты не дашь евреям равноправие, то самое равноправие, которое у евреев уже было.
I don't know why I'm listening to him. I'm sorry, guys. Finally, pure retardium. Trump officially selects Kevin Warsh. We already know. Today, the U.S. Justice Department will release over 3 million pages from the Epstein
Today
files.
we are producing more than 3 million pages, including more than 2,000 videos and 180,000 images. In total, that means that the department produced approximately 3.5 million pages in compliance with the act. Just a quick note about the videos and images. The 2,000 videos and 180,000 images are not all videos and images taken by Mr. Epstein or someone around him. They include large quantities of commercial pornography and images that were seized from Epstein's devices, but which he did not take or that someone around him did not take. Some of the videos, though, and some of the images do appear to be taken by Mr. Epstein or by others around him. Today, we are producing more than 3 million pages including more than 2,000 videos.
Apple acquires Israeli startup Kai. It's an AI company that listens to silent speech. Kai last year filed a patent application to use facial skin micromovements to detect words mouthed and spoken, identify a person, and assess their emotions, heart rate, respiration rate. Wow. They really are trying to create some type of weird AI tyrannical system, man. Like, I don't know what we got to do about Israel, but this is getting, like, weird and dangerous. Like, I think the government should, like, see them as a threat, not literally the rest of the world. I don't understand that relationship at all. I don't understand why Christian Zionists wouldn't rather just take over Israel and make it a peaceful place rather than, you know, join Israel and try to destroy the world. Like, I just don't understand that. Like, the whole Armageddon Christian and or apocalyptic Christian, whatever you want to call them, I've never understood that particular type of Christian. Like, it, to me, that just totally goes against Jesus's philosophy. And, I mean, I don't know, maybe that is the evil that makes Jesus come back. I don't know. Maybe we are headed towards some type of weird biblical event. It makes you wonder sometimes just because of how crazy things are. But I don't know. Maybe they're just trying to make us believe that. UAE allegedly shared identities of the U.S. intelligence officers with Russia. Washington Examiner reports President Trump signs executive order bringing IndyCar race to D.C. for America 250 celebrations.
We're going to celebrate America's 250th birthday, and he asked all of us to think outside the box. How do we make this historic and cool, and let's all do this together? And he loves the country and loves the birthday, and so we at DOT were working on this concept. We didn't know at the same time Penske was working on the same project too, and so we've come together and
Anyways, Oklahoma Democrat Rep. A.J. Pittman resigns after pleading guilty to forgery and conspiracy charges. Nicholas Holscher says Arizona Bill HB 2974 designates modified mRNA injections as biological agents and weapons of mass destruction under state law, classifying their manufacture, possession, or distribution as terrorism with penalties up to life imprisonment if death occurs. Kash Patel says earlier this morning FBI and HSIHQ partners arrested 4 individuals in connection to the January 18th coordinated targeting of City's Church in Minnesota. Don Lemon, Traherne, Jean Cruz, Georgia Fort, and Jamal Lyndall Lundy. Cool. It was only like 2 weeks ago. I don't understand why everybody got so upset that it... I mean, well, I guess I kind of got upset, really, too. I was hoping it was going to happen within a week. It took 2 weeks. That's better than nothing. You know, they're starting to ramp up speed, it seems like. I don't know why it takes so long at first, but maybe they're trying to give the people some leeway. I'm not too sure what that is yet. Don Lemon could make his first court appearance as early as today, as he's now been arrested and taken into federal custody. Let's see that perp walk, says Nick Sorter.
Alert, journalist Don Lemon has been arrested in connection with an anti-ICE protest at a church in St. Paul, Minnesota. Bill Melugin joins us now with more on this breaking news. Hey, Bill.
Yeah, Charlie, good morning to you. Our colleague David Spunt and I getting this breaking news from multiple law enforcement sources just minutes ago, confirming that former CNN anchor Don Lemon has been arrested by federal agents in Los Angeles just after midnight this morning at a hotel. This obviously all in connection with that storming of a church in St. Paul, Minnesota by that group of anti-ICE agitators. Now remember, the feds had gone to judges to try to get Don Lemon arrested before. They went to a magistrate judge in Minnesota who didn't sign off on an arrest warrant for him. Then it went to a judge above him. He didn't sign off on an arrest warrant for him. Then it went to an appeals court. They also decided not to sign off for an arrest warrant for him. So there was experts who were predicting that perhaps the feds would go to a grand jury. It remains to be seen if that's what happened here, but we can confirm that Don Lemon was arrested in Los Angeles by federal agents just after midnight Los Angeles time at a hotel. Now, typically, standard procedure with an arrest like this is the defendant will likely make their first court appearance sometime the same day. So there's a chance we may see Don Lemon make his first court appearance in Los Angeles sometime today. But obviously, this is going to grab all sorts of headlines. 3 other protesters from that church storming, have already been arrested, including who the feds say was the organizer of that protest. The woman in the middle there is a school board member in St. Paul, and then the mugshot on the right is an online personality / agitator, if you want to call him that. He's known as DeWoke Farmer. Those were the 3 people that the feds had already arrested.
DeWoke Farmer.
But we have confirmed that Don Lemon has now been arrested in Los Angeles in connection with that viral incident. We all saw the video of.
Yep. Anyways.
Revelation
This game
chapter
started
12,
in the background.
Verses 2 through 8. The Bible says this. And she being with child cried, travailing in birth, and pained to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his heads. And his tail drew the 3rd part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. And she brought forth a man-child, who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron. And her child was caught up unto God and to his throne. And Revelation chapter 12, verses 2 through 8, the Bible says this. And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth, and pained to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his heads. And his tail drew the 3rd part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. And she brought forth a man-child, who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron. And her child was caught up unto God and to his throne. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she hath a place prepared of God, that they should feed her there 1,260 days. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought against his angels, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. This is the word of the Lord. Today's episode is titled, Who is the True Israel? Long story short, it's me. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, all right. Now that is
sounds like a short story short.
That is the title. The title is Who is the True Israel? And it is me, but not exclusively reserved for me. I am a part of the True Israel, but it's a little bit broader than just Joel. Wes, go ahead.
Yeah, so if you know your Bible at all, if you sing the Psalms, again and again, the greatest promises in Scripture, they're not just to an individual, but they're to God's people. God's people in the Old Testament are the children of Israel, the offspring of Abraham. We could go to the Galatians and we could examine it and parse it out and do some exegesis there.
I'm not going to cover this whole video, obviously. It's a whole hour long, but I do recommend it if anybody, I don't know, is interested in this type of stuff. If you want to get a Christian perspective on the whole Israel situation, around the whole calling everybody anti-Semites just for questioning Jews situation. If you're confused about all of that, I recommend Joel Webbin. I don't know much about him yet. I just kind of was introduced to him recently. But from what I can tell, I mean, he seems pretty on point. But feel free to argue with him if you disagree. I'm going to show like maybe these last 2 videos and we're going to be done with the news.
I want to talk for a minute about something that is important. Every single day of the year, the Department of Justice investigates and prosecutes those who abuse and traffic young women and children. Just last year, the FBI located over 2,700 victims of child exploitation. The Department of Justice found and terminated 3.8 million dark web pedophile accounts. In August, we charged 11 defendants for extensive sex trafficking in Los Angeles of illegal immigrants and underage women. Last month, we charged 5 men who were engaged in a sadistic sextortion network of deranged young men abusing women. Over the past several months, last summer and into the fall, we executed Operation Restore Justice, rescuing 205 child victims and arresting 293 offenders. I point this out because I take umbrage at the suggestion, which is totally false, that the Attorney General or this department does not take child exploitation or sex trafficking seriously, or that we somehow do not want to protect victims. We do. There are some select members of Congress and some in the public eye, including those most critical of our efforts at full transparency under the Act, who remain silent as to all the work that we have done and continue to do every day in this space.
It's definitely not me.
While quickly pointing a finger at the Attorney General or this department, because we were careful in our review of millions of pages of documents over the past 2 months. The Attorney General, the Director of the FBI, and our partners throughout this administration work hard every single day to protect the most vulnerable among us.
All right. This is supposedly where Jesus Christ prayed on the Mount of Olives. And this video claims that Jews are spitting at the entrance where Jesus Christ prayed on the Mount of Olives. They convinced you this is your greatest ally, says however the hell you pronounce that. Jivener.
We start this evening with the Bexar County judge on the other side of the gavel.
Judge Rosie Speedland Gonzalez faces multiple charges tonight, including a second-degree felony. We just got her mugshot a few minutes ago, right here behind us. News 4's cameras caught the moment Speedland Gonzalez walked into a courtroom to be indicted. Tonight, there are questions about what happens next.
News 4 San Antonio's Phil Sterling has been following the story for us all day. He joins us live with the very latest on the charges. Phil.
Now, County Court at Law Judge Rosie Speedland Gonzalez arrived here to the Cadena Reeves Justice Center to show up to a courtroom only feet away from her own, just down the hall. This right here behind me is her courtroom. We got a copy right here of the indictment of all the charges that were read to her, although it did give limited information as to what happened. At a county court, at-law judge Rosie Speedland Gonzalez is in court, but not to preside over a case. She's here to be arraigned. She's been charged with 1 count of unlawful restraint by a peace officer or judge, a second-degree felony, and official oppression, a Class A misdemeanor.
Nice. Lock her up.
Because I think that we will achieve the expansion of peace. And I think that we are together. We can lead this and become not a secondary power, but a primary power in the advance of humanity.
And so we are...
Get out of here. I don't even want to hear it.
Like, what's...
Get through Lindsey Graham first, and then we'll do this one, and then we're getting to the game. No more after that.
If you try to help the ICC, we're going to sanction you. Well, that means I want every ally. And you saw a little...
Said he's going to sanction any country that tries to arrest Netanyahu. Here's Anna Kasparian.
What's the mission, though? Is the mission the nuclear sites that you claim to have obliterated? Okay, so it's not the nuclear site. So what's the mission? Is the mission to protect demonstrators and protesters as you've done so well here in the United States? What's the mission? Oh, I know what the mission is. The mission is to take orders from your daddy, Benjamin Netanyahu, okay, spill U.S. blood and use U.S. money to help Israel build its empire. That's what this is all about. It's so stupid and it's so infuriating. He continues, hopefully Iran will quickly come to the table and negotiate a fair and equitable deal. No nuclear weapons, one that is good for all parties. Well, that deal existed. You ripped it up in 2018. It was called the JCPOA, the Iran nuclear deal. And it was an agreement signed by not just the United States and Iran, but other foreign countries were involved in the oversight to ensure that Iran was following through with this agreement that they would not enrich uranium or build nuclear weapons. So this is what Trump does. He breaks things. And oftentimes after breaking things, he'll find a way to cobble things back together again and then give himself a pat on the back as if he accomplished a damn thing when he didn't accomplish anything. He just broke things, took some, super glue, tried to put it all back together, and then demands everyone's admiration and respect.
I'll get that on screen. All right, we're good.
Oxygen levels depleting. Creedmaker, signal lost. Commander Thera, signal detected.
One has returned. Woe to all who stand before him.
Water tunnel. That's new. I get a new hammer thingy. I get a mace, a dread mace. Hell yeah. Do I hit it with the same button? Hell yeah, boy. I love it. Can I have two? Oh, look at that. How do I get up there? Have to go a different way? Open up these doors. They act like they want to open up, but they won't. What the hell, bro? Oh yeah, that's okay. What's that do? Oh shit. Oh, okay. I was supposed to go under here. I forgot about the blue ones. How do I get that over here? Let's say that. You gotta look straight at it. Okay. goodness. Down here. Damn. Shit. Damn it. Needed help really bad. I was up against that wall and I couldn't get over it again. Better directions to go. Got him. A lot more aggressive that time. And that killed everybody. Hell yeah.
covenant with the Dark Realm is sealed. Now, their strength is our own.
idea. Why's everything gotta be weird? A ball jump? Supposed to hit that. Well, up there somehow, probably. Oh wait, no, you can see that. Yeah, I get it. Maybe. I've been in here. I have. That looked familiar. Hit it. Okay. I knew it. Ooh, buddy, what do I want? There's so many toys in this game. There's almost too many toys. Oh, that's cool. Flare up. I like both of them. Drop more armor packets. Oh, I can't buy it yet. Oh, that's cool. I guess they blow up whenever you throw your shield at it. Salvage, Chrono Spike. Heat Blast. I might actually use that, I don't know. I don't know what I use it on yet. I just got one, so I'm not sure. Amplify. That's pretty cool. Hell yeah. Look at that, it turns red. I don't know, there's so many. Runic Skull. Chain Shot. Eldritch Blessing. I like the sound of that. Hell Surge attack instantly charges your next shot. Oh, cool. I like that. We're getting that one. I don't know why I like that gun. It's just like a chain ball being shot out. But there's something really cool and medieval about it. I've never seen it in a game. I don't know what it is about the creators of the Doom games, but they're really creative. And I love it. Alright, let's see. Where's my... I don't see my BFG or... whatever they call it in this game. BFB? Big fucking bow or something like that. Eat this. I'm gonna save it. Let's see what else I can get. Even though this looks really cool. Overload. Damn. I want to get it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna resist the temptation. Where are my... Where's it at? This is what I'm looking for. Forgot they call it something different in this game. That's it. How many chapters in this game? I keep forgetting to ask Rock that question. Where's my tablet at? And I'll ask Rock real quick. I've been curious for a while. Let me check everything real quick. We're still doing okay, guys. Okay. For the most part. Oops. Can I ask you Brock again? I can't think. It's all the stupid music. I forgot I was asking now. Totally blanked. Oh yeah, how many missions? How many missions within the Doom Dark Ages game? Missions. Okay, I guess I asked that question before, because I think I remember hearing that. I don't know which one I'm on now. Big ass game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we're a little over halfway. Is that an enemy?
2 cosmic relics detected
thingy?
nearby.
I like it.
Collect both to proceed.
This is weird, man. Oh, whatever, I jumped over that. Where did they go? It's like a spirit. That was weird. Oh.
time of ascension is now. No longer shall we be shackled to a dying cosmos.
So much extra stuff that I never get. I deserve a cookie after this shit, man. Got him. Oh yeah. That was semi-fun. Thought I was gonna die, but it worked out.
Both relics acquired. Proceed to the central lift.
found a toy! Yay! Ow. Fucking me, boy. I don't like playing with them. I love it whenever you're like so good, you just start playing with enemies. Not even trying. I gotta just stop here real quick. See if we got anything else. Conditioning. Why not? Let's do it. I could upgrade if I want this. I want this one. Let's just do it. Screw it. YOLO. Where is it? What's it called? Accelerator.
The stars bleed and the void calls.
Green shit, y'all ready for this? gross again. Ugh. That wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Alright, I deserve a cookie. Might grab me a cookie real quick. I don't know. We're gonna get a cutscene again? Give me just a second, guys. I'll be right back. I'll even put on some music for you. How about that? Should I leave that on? Do I even have music on? I should turn music off here and turn the other music on. I don't know. Actually, I kind of like the music's game. The game's music. That's what I meant to say.
Location unknown. No reference data available.
There we go. I like it. Oh, I didn't see this. about to kill him. Getting strong. I waste my ammo on these guys. How do I get over there? Hole somewhere. Love it. Damn it! The fucking sludge on the ground was slowing me down. I couldn't move. Forgot he lays that shit. just a second, yo. Still connected, everything good? Good. Not good. Alright, much better. Did you die already? Accelerator. I only got him. Alright, now the leader's finally available. Got him. but that shield really comes in handy.
Gravitic anomalies detected.
Oh. I guess they were still there. Supposed to go inside the ship? Is that what you're telling me? Oh, won't let me know. I didn't see a way. Oh, no, I see it. Getting kind of disoriented. I'm like, which way is up?
Life signal locked on. She is inside the temple.
Good. Tell her I said what's up. I'm coming to lifesaver. Okay. Ask if she's single. Right there. What? No map available. What are you talking about, man? Bro, I'm lost now. What the hell? What the fuck? Everything just changed. Oh shit, bro. Something happened. What the hell's going on right now? What the fucking shit just happened? Can we not do that again? I'm legit kind of freaked out by that. I don't know what happened. Okay, now we can get it. Okay. I see what you're doing there. I just didn't like it. At least I got one.
Prepare the sacrifice. The beast approaches.
Alert. Unknown entity approaching.
Kraken. That's why I should have named this episode The Kraken. What time is it? I gotta name the next episode that. I could have an episode right here if I wanted to. that many people watching lately. Jeez, it is Friday though. I don't blame you. You know what? I think I am going to save it for next time. Because we might get the actual Kraken here soon with Sidney Powell set loose. If any of that's true. I don't know. Just have to see. It's the narrative I was fed for years. But anyways, I appreciate everybody for stopping by. If you liked tonight's video, go ahead and like. If you're new to the channel, I'd love for you to follow. And you never know, I might be on tomorrow. Just kind of depends. Might have some plans, might not. Anyways, have a good weekend.
Bye.